All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you guys are tuning in, hit that thumbs up. Finally, at last, we're back in the green. Up 800 bucks today, and the bulk of our gains came from stock MRAI. Now, there's a conversation that we need to have with ourselves, man. And is it worth trading these stocks like SHOT, SPRC? Is it worth it? I was thinking about this here the last 30 minutes, the last hour, and I think the answer is yes. But I need to be positioned very well and I need to adjust very quickly. Stocks SPRC and SHOT offered opportunities, but you needed to be in on the right areas. Were they a little bit more high risk than the usual stock? Were they a little bit more choppy than the usual stock? The answer for me is yes. A stock like MRAI was very smooth and I was able to be very accurate on it. But, if I position myself properly, I could do very well on stocks like SPRC and SHOT. To start the day, SHOT ended up giving a really good opportunity. Now, before we continue, let me just say this quickly because I'm gonna forget. Remember the disclaimer, guys. Remember that trading is risky. Remember that a lot of people are struggling. Take it slow. Utilize risk money. Utilize simulators. Take it slow. This is a professional field. This is a business like any other out there. And there are risks associated with trading. Other than that, remember the live streams and the recaps are not an invitation to copy trade. There's a formal way of learning, which we'll talk a little bit more as we go throughout the video. And lastly, be careful of the impersonators and scammers. A lot of people pretending to be me, creating fake accounts. I will never message you first. I will never ask you for money in any way, shape, or form. All right, guys. So, with that being said, let's jump back into the recap. Stock SHOT, this one here, it started off and it had a pretty good range, right? Now, I will say I was watching SPRC into the open, and that's part of why I missed this opportunity here. Sometimes you have to choose, hey, which one do you think is going to be the best one? SPRC did move, but we ended up having a lighter volume push. So you can see it's up, then it's down, then it's up, then it's down, lighter volume move. SHOT, on the other hand, I believe I could have caught a nice entry in here. This thing started off with a low of 564 and a rip to 590. That in itself is already a nice move. From 590, we get this baby pullback in here. Low of 73, and then it rips over 90 with a high of then $6. From there, again, it pulls back. Low 581, and then it rips up to a high of 605. Within this area here, I could have been up $1,000 already with the right size. Anything over like 2,500, I'd been up well over a K in this area here. I can trade these opportunities well, but I need to be present. And so for those reasons, I think it does make sense for me to watch a stock like this. Now, how in the world did I end up losing? As mentioned, I'm looking at something else. I missed the bulk of the move. By the time I get here, we barely get to get a trade on this candle, and then it's selling off. And we happen to trade the backside. We should have just avoided it. I'm not in a good rhythm. I'm not sure how the stock is properly moving. I'm not in a good, sync. And so for those reasons, I skipped this dip. It ends up bouncing up nicely. And from here it held up this level very well before giving out. So there could have been a lot of opportunities here if I'm early, if I'm paying attention, and if I'm really in the zone. SHOT missed opportunity. Next time we'll get you. Next time we'll get it. Next stock. PXMD, not really much to talk about here. It was a bit of a slower moving one. Didn't really get aggressive on it. Wasn't really looking to push it. Just, a few shares in out. That's it. Scratch trade. MRAI will come back to. The other stock was ANGH. This one here, I think, is quickly one to mention. I believe if we had more volume, maybe I could have done something, but it was a little disappointing to miss this move here. Over the high of day level, we had the nice W here, right? This W, We have our low, we tried, not quite, higher lows versus these previous levels, and then we curl up here. So, there's usually two ways of attacking this type of trade here. It's either down here or a little higher up. And it's important for me to mention, right, because there might be some, newer people watching on, right? The trick is in the market is understanding where to buy, where to sell, and how to manage the risk as you go. So if I'm in this first zone, I can, keep my stops tight towards these previous lows. So if this thing break down, I can cut the trade. But usually I'm not looking to hold super long, especially when the volume is light. But as we're curling up, I'll be watching levels such as 279 in this other zone, and tight stops, relatively speaking, 5-10 cent stops. And can we continue to go higher? This ended up going to 95. I believe, let's double check. I think I missed that opportunity. Let's see, and I might have came afterwards. Was that the case? Let's just refresh here. Oh yeah, yeah, I completely missed this big green candle. So, after this second push, I kind of watched for some dips. Didn't quite get to see what I wanted. Volume was too light. Look at the volume here. It's in and then right out. So yeah, MRAI. Actually, SPRC, SPRC. Let's talk about SPRC. Let's get rid of the show trade so it looks a little bit more clean. This stock was a roller coaster, man. So my first trade is a 20-cent winner, right? We have a low of 760, high 795. And then it pulls back and it pulls back all the way to 750. So, in the event, as we're pulling back, as we're pulling back, I tried buying, I believe, about 70, thinking we were holding up for the bounce back, but it's an extended pullback and then it goes. We make a new high, and this time we go all the way to 806 from the 790 level. From 806, it pulls all the way back to 750 again. And I kind of don't really like this range a lot. It's good that it's moving, but I really like when we can hold up, let's throw a percentage out there. Let's say 40, 50, 60% of the move that we just gave. If we went from 750 up to 8 and we start to pull back, hey, can we hold up 770, 780, and then continue? So a lot of times I get caught trying to buy a little higher as the level 2 is showing buyers coming in, and then we get this flush out. I'm stopping out at the lows where I should have been buying in the first place. And there are days where we hold up very well and continue, right? So it's a little tricky sometimes knowing what approach to use, but the main thing is to try to be reactive. If we see it coming all the way down, flipping that switch to say, hey, don't look for the tighter dips, let's look for those wider opportunities so that we can get long and position ourselves. Because if we really look at this thing, right, if we trade this perfectly without any mistakes, you know 50, right, even if you're not in the first time, once it comes back down this time, 50 to a high of 19, 750 to 819, and then 820. I will say part of what makes this difficult is the spreads and the liquidity, right? Sometimes the stocks will come down, it's a quick wick down and right back up. You don't really get a chance to buy. I got some partial fills in some key areas. Things happen, and sometimes you just don't quite get the opportunities that you want. Again, another bit of a W in here. Big drop, right? Big drop off of a false breakout. We got another W down here. This ended up turning out to be a pretty decent ABCD. Nice. Quick flag. Dip into VWAP. Rip. I caught this dip perfectly, but only got filled a 20th of my position. So it ended up being a great trade, but not with the size we wanted. We should have made a couple $100. Instead, we only made like $60 or something crazy, something small. But that was SPRC. This is a type of stock. Again, is it more difficult? Is it more choppy? Yes. But can you make money? The answer is yes, but it is risky. A lot of red candle, up, down, big red candles, big red candles. You got to really I think if we position ourselves, we don't chase the entries. If we don't get filled, we don't, try to buy higher. We can do some damage there. Now I did miss the first like maybe third of this move, ranting. I thought I was done for the day. I was going on like a big speech talking about stats and like a whole bunch of motivational stuff, thinking I was done for the day. And this one was hitting the scans and it was also being called out. But me just being tunnel visioned on ranting, missed the bulk of the move. I missed, I think, everything up to at least, let's just check the show trades here to see where the first order came at 11:18. The first order came at 11:18. So if I'm to be paying attention to the scans and I can capture this thing from, I can start watching it, let's say, from this area of 11, right? 18 minutes later, I finally arrive and the stock has already did 26, 27%, 30%. I've missed 30% of this move and I captured the remaining 40%. But what this first half of this move does, if you're watching it for myself, is that the formalities, right? The tradition of having to look at a stock, check my key levels, get used to the price action, get used to the personality of the stock. All of that would have been done and assessed, and I would have been able to understand how I wanted to manage risk. So even when I came, right, I actually came at like 15, or I think 60. Let's say I think 16, and it's like, okay, 55 is the high. I thought this dip did look good. From 55 we got down to, I think, what was it, 32, or I might have even went before then. I think I came at 14. Yeah, I came at 14. Right here I saw this opportunity from 28 to a low of 11. And it's like, if I'm here early, this is a good area here for me and what I'd like to see. And so, even a candle like this is a pretty significant candle. If you're already green, you're already making money, you're super confident, you can really attack entries like this. When we do get this high now, 50, and then we pull back to a low 32, you can really get in there with some more size and you can be aggressive. So, this is where I started, right? I'm watching it here, lower highs, but also higher lows. And then we get back over 45, break of 50, the baby pullback, the pullback within the candles, leading into the new candles as well. So 58 to 49, and then from 49 ripping up to 74. Quick pullback here again. Quick pullback here. The 1 minute candle makes the new high over 67, and I'm in selling up above 70 and 80 here. So where do you buy? Where do you sell? What type of patterns are you looking for? In the chapters, oh, in the classes that I have, right? These are the patterns that I talk about right here, right? Simple patterns, right? Looking at volume, right? Understanding volume, understanding candlesticks, how to read candlesticks, and looking at multiple time frames, right? Because we do have multiple time frames here. Look, this is the 1 minute time frame. So, what was this? 11:20 a.m. So we just had a doji candle. We want to be patient. We want to make sure that buyers are still in this thing. So when we come back to the 1 minute and we see that, the 1 minute candle is making the new high and we're getting big green volume at this time, pretty much all what was this, hive day volume essentially here on a 1 minute candle. I like to see that. That tells me that people are still interested. And that gives me confidence to buy it high, looking to sell even higher. Because, I came late. The stock is already up 30% after I arrived. So anything here is me buying high, right? If you look at it from that point of view. So, patterns like this, the quick 1 minute pullback, right? I would even look at this as like a small flag, right? Let me bring up the other drawing tool here. So, you know, you picture your country's flag. It's been a long time since I did this. You picture your country's flag. Maybe it's a little rectangular, maybe it's a bit of a little triangular, right? But we're pushing up here. We're pushing up. Jeez, why can't I draw a straight line? Okay, there we go. We're pushing up. Quick pullback, quick flag. As we make the new high, for me, sometimes I watch it the price action for my risk. I watch it level two. But even looking at the candlesticks here, low 60, low 60. There's a bit of a double bottom here. The 1 minute candle to make the new high is at 67. And for me, I'm watching to see how well this candle is also holding. So the moment we're hitting 64, 65, I'm already in, watching for the move over 67 and high of days at 74. If it looks pretty good here at 74, maybe this is another area that I buy and add. So entry here between 60 and 67 or at 67. And if it's still strong, again, I'll be buying here again, 74, 75, looking for it to go higher to be selling again. That's exactly what I did right there on MRAI. Jeez, man, what's up with me and this wrong letter stuff? Am I dyslexic? I don't like to think so. I just am rushing when I'm saying the symbols. That's what's going on. Need to take a step back, wait, be patient. Yeah, so that of course this accent is, if you guys hear how I speak outside of this stuff, you wouldn't even think it's me. You wouldn't even recognize me, my voice. This is a completely forced accent right now. It's good English though. It's good English. Anyhow, moving on. We kind of did a slow grind and then we erupted. And I think I attacked this candle here at size. I think I did. Let's see. 6,000 there. 289. I didn't quite get the break of three, man. This was a disappointing move for me. I ended up buying for break of three late. And I'm in at 08 for my first entry over the level. But as it dipped down, I got in. And I think I even got stopped out, but it continued. I got back in again. And so I was able to kind of get flat. But this was not a great candle for me. We could have done much, much better. Much, much better on that candle. But yeah, sometimes you botch the trades, that's how it goes. Let me pull up the classes here quickly. In fact, I'm going to do it this way. MMU, like when it comes to patterns, like half of the patterns are here. The other half like it's actually in the actual classes. But when it comes to MMU patterns, right? There's all sorts of patterns. There's a ton of them. There's a 3 bar, just to name a few off the top of my head. There's a 3 bar play. There's the wedge pattern. There's the baby pullback. There's the VWAP dip, VWAP bounce. There's a ton of them, right? So for anybody who actually this is not the right class. It's more so like, yeah, here we go, coming down. Um there's the halt pattern, there's the bear trap, there's the red to green, right?
The red
So
to green.
the red to green, the V shape, the U shape, red to green. Like, when it comes to the classes and what we're teaching and what we're going over, is the ABCD up here or is it on the other side? I think it might be in the other ones. Yeah, I have another folder, but yeah. So, it comes down to, you know, being able to recognize the patterns, being disciplined about the patterns that we're seeing, and from there applying what we know, right? Experience is also important, right? You do have to build some experience. But yeah, there's a ton of patterns. There's a bear trap, and I traded 2 bear traps today. Let me show you guys the two bear
The
traps,
bear.
right? Let me show you guys the 2 bear traps that The two bear traps that I traded, right? So when we go through the classes, we go through the bottoming wicks and how they look, and then we actually have examples of this, right? So, these are the patterns that we're looking at, right? When it comes to the bear trap. Bottoming wick, coming down into key support areas, bottoming wicks. Let me pull up my archive now from today. All right, let me pull up my archive from today and show you guys. Actually, we can keep this here. Why not? Just let's come all the way down, all my archives, showing you guys all the good stuff. I'm gonna skip through and find the two bear traps I traded on SPRC. There were two really good ones. Let's see if we can find them. This being that this stock has so many bottoming wicks, it's like a needle. Oh, it's like a needle in a haystack. Okay, this is actually one of them. So look at the trend line that I have marked out, right? The trend line that I have marked out, I believe, is for high of day. Or let's double check on that. What's that? 845 SPRC. It doesn't get any cleaner than this. Okay, that was high of day, 845, right? High of day, right? Let's go back to the video. I know high of day is at 845. I know that that's a place the stock is likely to bounce. So watch this. Right now we're at 53. I'm watching, I'm waiting. There's 38. I'm long. I put out a limit order at 38, 1,000 shares. I'm filled, and boom. Immediately we're back at 56. This is what we call a good trade. Quick bear trap. Quick bear trap. In, out, quick and clean. Right? But it comes down, a lot of this comes down to being fearless, right? Because there's a fear factor. You have to, is this thing where you're buying a stock whilst it's going down, it's a little fearful. And so we don't always take all the trades, but that's what the level that we need to get to, where we take every single one and we're very disciplined to cut it quickly if it's not going. But that's a quick example of just one of the patterns, right? If we skip ahead to the other stock, there's also the whole dollar pattern, right? The 3 bar play, stuff like that. Like right here, we're gonna watch as the 1 minute candle is gonna eventually make the new high. We have the low at 61, right? We just mentioned this pattern here, right? So I'm in 1,000 shares. I'm in 1,500 shares, and right here, even for this stock, right? We can level two is in the middle of the screen here, but we can watch it and we can do a better job holding a little longer, right? But anyhow, there's 66, 67. There's a small seller, 19,000. And so I'm taking some profits as I'm going, small size. I'm not using a huge amount of shares, but still, it's working out pretty well. I certainly could have been more aggressive, so I'm all out right there. And now I'm watching for the 1 minute candle to make the new high with follow through. So can we get over 67 and can we follow through? If not, my stops are tight. So I'm back in at 70 for this move to 67, over 67, and boom, my 1,500 shares at 70. I'm selling between 75 and 78 for gains, and over and over and over and over. Can we continue now for the push through 80? Because this is the same for me. It's the same setup as break of 67. Now it's a matter of, are we going to continue to push through? And it gets up to 81. Not quite the push I would have wanted. We could have had a better push there, but again, the same patterns just over and over and over, repeating over and over, and we're just adding gains. We're just adding gains. Guys, that's gonna do it for the recap. Uh, if you are interested, and I saved this for the last set of people here because you know most of the slackers they clicked off, right? The slackers, not even most, all the slackers, they clicked off this video a long time ago. But for the people who are interested, right, in getting started with day trading, I do have a bit of a treat for you guys for staying till the end, right? The day trading course that I have, the link is down below. Right now, we are providing a free intro course, a free basics course for those of you who are looking to get started. MMU Silver, we now have for free, right? MMU Silver, we now have for free. So you guys can go ahead and sign up for silver using coupon code subscriber, right? This is for all the true loyal people watching till to the end. This will give you guys a few chapters of the classes, a few archives. That way you can get started for your day trading journey, your day trading career. You'll get a bit of a boost, right? A bit of a head start. So be sure to check out MMU Silver coupon code subscriber. For those of you who are here, you'll get a couple of the chapters, right? These chapters we just looked at, you'll get a couple of these chapters here for free and a few archives just to get you started. If you're interested from there, you can keep going. But yeah, coupon code subscriber. All right, 100% off. With that being said, it's been Relentless Trader, and your boy is signing out. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Remember, the markets are closed tomorrow. Friday will be a half day. I'll see you guys on Friday. Stay safe, stay green.